It is apparent that America is very much in need of a green revolution. Many of the points Friedman brings up throughout Hot, Flat, and Crowded are difficult to see or relate to when being submerged in the same culture for a lifetime. However, the experience in Spain has shown how far we have to go. More than anything, the main themes in this book provide significant factual evidence that show why we need to go green. It is apparent that there is a global increase in temperature, there is a rise in the middle class across the world, and a seemingly exponentially increasing population. Friedman goes into great detail of these topics and elaborates on how he has seen this in his travels as a journalist. There are a few recurring facts in the book that stand out a great deal, some of them being that we have seen a 0.5 degree Fahrenheit increase throughout the globe since 1950. We have gained 1 billion people in the past 13 years, and every day more people throughout the world have more and more access to each other, in turn, access to natural resources. Friedman also believes that America has long been a trendsetter for the world. He says, "It is easy for Americans to forget how much America is still the model to be followed, and it is easy for us to forget that when America either stops setting good trends or starts setting bad ones, the whole world feels the effects." Initially, this idea seems rather overconfident and somewhat egotistic. However, there have been too many cases that show that countries do follow America's lead. Friedman includes the example of America inventing the national park system a century ago, which has been emulated around the world ever since. Furthermore, Friedman's views on policy seem very agreeable when looking into the logistics of pushing America forward to a green revolution. Ease, convenience, and comfort are all things that America has come to know very well, what with our current ways of transportation and electricity. Something like a change in national policy is drastic, but necessary in a case such as ours. A change in national policy could potentially put certain oil producers, coal mining companies, and other people in the industry out of jobs. But I have to agree with Friedman that a green revolution would put people right back in as well. He speaks about industry and why they want to preserve their dominance in the American energy infrastructure. In the best cases, these are just some executives, employees, and supportive politicians trying to protect jobs and communities that give the country the cheapest power, the most growth. In the worst cases, they are greedy companies looking to protect their mother loads, even though they know their products are as harmful to society and the planet as cigarette smoking, he explains. With the combination of supported factual evidence that the world is becoming hotter, flatter, and more crowded daily, and the realization that America would be the most effective trendsetter for a global green revolution, it is transparent that America needs a revolution as such. Moreover, for this to happen, there is a much-needed change in national policy for this to happen.
The National Academy of Engineers has a list of objectives for future generations of engineers, called the Grand Challenges of Engineering. Of all the goals, one of the most important, especially for the United States, is repairing and improving our aging infrastructure. While every modernized country has this problem to some degree, the majority of our systems face total failure and collapse due to their poor conditions. Comparing the US to Spain, there are two categories where Spain is exceeding our efforts: roads and railways. In recent years, Spain has become a European frontrunner in terms of highway construction and modernization. According to ICEX España, Spain has constructed about 1,400 miles of new motorways and plans to add almost 1,000 more in the future. Their goal is for 94% of all Spaniards to have access to a large capacity roadway within 18.5 miles. What has really impressed the world is Spain's effort into railway construction and technology. High-speed rails have become a top priority as there's a plan for a 6,200-mile railway network by 2020. This makes Spain the second leading country in total mileage of high-speed railways, after China. The goal is for every Spanish city to have access to these railways, and for each citizen to be within 31 miles of a train stop. There's also a push for companies to use trains for cargo transportation instead of motorways.
Throughout our stay in Spain, we had a really incredible chance to get knee-deep in the culture and language. Furthermore, we got the chance to see how the people interact with technology and the environment. It should go without saying that technology today is faster, bigger, and more accessible than ever. Every day I learn something new about technology that blows my mind. However, some of these technologies that make something very convenient for society are often very harmful to the environment. A rather obvious example is the current grid of power that most of the U.S. runs off of. Much of this is coal and other non-renewable resources that emit large amounts of CO2. Although our power supply is incredibly convenient and relatively cheap for the people, this technology has taken a toll on the environment by emitting huge amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Furthermore, today's cars are faster, more powerful, and smarter than they've ever been. These cars provided us with a very simple way to get from point A to point B at any time of the day. However, many of these consume large amounts of fuel and also emit harmful greenhouse gases. Although these advanced technologies have shown to be harmful to the environment, there are many replacements for these systems out today that do the same job without the negative effects. Our experience in Spain let us see really incredible alternatives for our sources of power and transport. New technological advances have led to being able to harness renewable resources such as wind power more effectively than ever. A single windmill on the farm we went to had the ability to power a small town of 800 people. They even had one mill there that was capable of doing 3 times that. This provides a really incredible way to power cities throughout Spain without emitting harmful greenhouse gases. The downside to this is that the people often pay more for power bills. We also got to see some effects of how a higher tax on oil can really change the type of transport that you see. Small, fuel-efficient vehicles, motorcycles, bikes, and buses were the way that people get around in Spain. These are all very opposite of most normal Americans' way of transport. Our experience in Spain really portrayed how technology could do great things for society and the environment. These sources of energy employ a large number of people in Navarra while giving off no harmful emissions. These types of technological advances are going to be what addresses most major challenges for society's future.
During our time in Spain, stereotypes were broken and new, surprising things were learned about the society and its culture. First off, we were definitely not expecting the American entertainment business being such a huge part of Spanish life. American TV shows and movies are dubbed into Spanish, and music is even still in English. You would walk into a cafe playing the song by the Lumineers, or into a club in the weekend playing the newest song from Pitbull or David Guetta. Our host's mom's daughter would sing along as best as she could to the songs, but she admitted that she had no idea what they were saying. They only liked the songs for the beats. Also, those Spaniards do love their siestas. The majority of stores close at some point in the afternoon, so they can go eat comida with a family or at a restaurant. Even having a beer or a glass of wine in the middle of the day is pretty much acceptable. Most families even bring their kids out to a late dinner, at about a time that American kids would be getting ready for bed. Some stores even take Mondays off for people who have to work over the weekends. Spaniards also have 5 common meals throughout the day, while we usually have a major 3 with a possible snack somewhere in the day. They have the breakfast, or desayuno, a smaller snack before their lunch, called almuerzo, their major meal in the middle of the afternoon, or la comida, a snack before their late dinner, la merienda, and ending with their late dinner, la cena. We also noticed how most meals, like la comida or la cena, are mostly homemade, and the ingredients come from smaller stores like a local panaderia, una pasteleria, or una tienda.
You know it's gonna be alright.